Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. In this episode, I'll be sharing with you this Node 3 setup that's utilizing SVerchok, animation nodes, and geometry nodes. And so we have a sound that's basically driving all this instance. So we have similar setup in the past. However, in this example, you can see how everything kind of working together. So first of all, we have SVerchok that's generating points, and animation nodes is sampling this sound and turning it into value. And at the end here we have geometry nodes that's simply doing the instancing and doing the point scaling based on the custom attribute of animation nodes. We have this custom attribute and everything working together. So if we just look at the value without the instance, you can see the value here. We have 200 value being controlled by this audio music. So let's make this less louder. Make it softer. Okay. So the value is changing, and I just simply transfer the value into point scale into the point instance of this cube. So we have some kind of visualizations. So that's basically pretty much it. It's pretty simple. We have ability to go back to SVerchok and change this into line, for example, or we can actually use circle, and we can play around with this exponential, try to spread the value a little bit better. We can randomize the position. So yeah, I'm playing basically with I started with a 200 points here, and we created this 200 sampling of this audio. The audio is actually coming from outside. I created earlier using an app called BugBeats. So BugBeats is actually from Extraordinary Facility, this company in New York somewhere. This I found this app to be really interesting. It's something that I wish I could create. It's really playful. It's basically like a MIDI something that you can control using MIDI controller. I have MIDI controller in front of me with 8 buttons that I can press. You can see it's very clean, very simple app. It's generating sound, and this is something that I wish I can create. Maybe using Blender, you can set up something like this using Blender with MIDI controller. It's possible, but you probably want to use something like Unity or Unreal. I don't know, but I like the idea. And you can play some kind of tune. And if we go back to Blender, I have this push to talk already, so I can play this, for example. So I can do like a recording, and I just like how things can kind of connect together. So it's just like a demonstrations of the whole process, how audio data can comes into Blender, and you can actually save these animations and save the audio separately. So you can render just the audio from Blender and render the animations. If you bake these animations, you can turn it into AR. So that's the thing. So with BugBeats, for example, this thing is kind of like it's an app. It's already working. Something that is interactive, and it's giving you some really fun control with the audio. I want to have this kind of app, like as augmented reality and something that's interactive and user can play around with it. So currently I'm kind of going into Blender and just try to transfer the audio into animations. It's kind of like going around in circle, trying to get something to work. But yeah, if we can turn this into some kind of AR app without using Blender, it's a different kind of like a I wish that we have Blender on as an app, you know, like something that we can process audio, we can process like interactive controller, put everything together into one big app. But in this case, of course, you can see the notes. Everything is kind of clear. So we set up like a random positions, and then we kind of sample the audio, and using that sample the audio and turning it into a value that we can transfer into instance. It's basic idea. But I mean, for some people it's like super basic. But for people who never touch programming or coding, this is actually really fun to do. That's how everything works. Like in this case, the spider is changing position every time you press a button. So imagine having that control transferred into Blender. Blender itself, of course, have some kind of MIDI controller if you use an app, if you use the correct add-on. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's just an idea, but basically this is just a demonstration how SVerchok, animation nodes, and geometry nodes can work together to create this kind of visualizations. Alright, so yeah, hopefully this is useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.